So I've seen a few people claim how scary this movie was, so I was like, it's streaming on Prime, might as well check it out. It's Halloween, it's spooky season, spooky month, baby, spooky time. And I watched it, clearly, and I'm like, this isn't that scary. And then I realized why. So let's talk about. I don't know the proper way to pronounce this title, so I'm gonna just put the title here and then flash some poster art, and then let's talk about it. So this is a Korean found footage style ghost type movie, and I usually love foreign horror movies. I think they're a lot more effective and scary than our horror movies because it's something new, it's something fresh, it's something you haven't really seen before. So what is this? This is about a group of people who are like a ghost hunting team, kind of, for a website, and they basically go into this abandoned location because two kids investigated there and they were never found again. So the team plans to live stream it to get ads and to get a big profit. If you know modern day streaming, live streaming on Twitch, YouTube, wherever, it's huge, it's massive. You, if you get enough hits, you get a lot of money. That's their goal. But what they don't realize is this place is legitimately haunted and spooked to the gills. And it goes from there. Why I didn't find this scary, I'm not exactly sure the specific year, but years ago there was a film called Grave Encounters that was released. And what that film did was essentially spoof ghost hunting shows like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. There's a million of them. I only watched the one, so. But it's set to spoof that, but it spoofs it in a very serious tone and it becomes a hardcore horror movie. And it has the same exact story as this. So while I was watching this, I went, oh, this is just the Korean version of Grave Encounters. And I saw all the story beats coming based off my knowledge of Grave Encounters because I really like that movie. And I'm like, oh no. Do people not know about Grave Encounters? Because I think Grave Encounters is the superior movie, but not by a lot. Because I think they both have the same flaws. But we're not talking about Grave Encounters. I might talk about that movie one day, probably, maybe soon. Who knows? But what works in this? The cast. They seem like actual people who would get along, especially in a claustrophobic area. Um, the tension, there's good tension, especially when things start to escalate and characters are like pointing fingers and placing blame, and they don't know what's happening, and they're just like, oh, what's doing this, and they just all freak out. That's all good stuff. The performances are pretty good, and like my, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but I have to. The same flaws with Grave Encounters. It gets too overboard with the spooks. It goes overboard with stuff not the film itself doesn't set up rules for the universe like Grave Encounters didn't. And when like absolutely bonkers shit starts happening, you kind of question it. And this suffers the same exact thing. And it probably is to someone who doesn't know what's going to happen. This film probably is scary, but due to my knowledge of Grave Encounters, I didn't find it scary, and I have to neg it for that, even though I don't think it's necessarily the film's fault. So like, this is a pretty okay movie. But would I say watch Grave Encounters over this? Yes, because I just think the setup to Grave Encounters is stronger. and the build up to it is stronger than in this. But yeah, that could be a fun double feature though, Grave Encounters and this. I don't know if Grave Encounters is streaming on anything, but I know this is streaming on Prime. So that could be actually be a pretty sick double feature of spooks and ghosts. But yeah, Haunted Asylum, I believe is its subtext subtitle. It's not bad, and I'm assuming it's really good if you haven't seen Grave Encounters. And even as someone who has seen Grave Encounters, which is a very similar, almost the same movie, I still like this. One jump scare got me real good. I'm not going to front. One scare made me like clench my blanket a bit and like made my chest tense up a bit. So that was actually really effective. One scene, and I kind of knew what was coming, and it still got me because the imagery that they use is really unsettling, and it and it caught me off guard. So kudos to that. But yeah, pretty decent hour and a half watch. Not gonna lie. So like always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.